Okay, good afternoon, algebra students. Today's lesson is on perimeter and consecutive integer problems. There are 5 problems. I want you to write the problem down, and then we'll solve them together, so make sure you're taking notes in your notebook. And let's get started. The first problem says that the length of a rectangle is 2 inches more than 3 times the width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 78 inches. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So you want to write the problem down, and then we have to translate this problem into an algebraic equation and then solve it. So let's get started. First I'm going to draw a rectangle so I can see it. And it says the length of the rectangle is 2 inches more than 3 times the width. So I'm going to let, since this is talking about the length, then I'm going to let W equal the width. So you always want to identify the variable first that you're working with. So because it gives me the dimensions of the length, that means the width is just going to be W. So the width is going to be W, and the length is going to be equal to 2 inches more than 3 times the width. So that's 3W plus 2. So that's going to be the length. Then it gives us the perimeter, so now it tells us we have to find the dimensions of the rectangle. So remember, your perimeter formula is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. You need to memorize that formula. Now I'm just going to substitute. So I have the length here, so I'm going to put that where the L is, and I have to put parentheses. So make sure you put parentheses when you substitute. So 2 times the length plus 2W. Well, W is the width, so that's all we put. Then we're going to distribute, and then we're going to solve. So distribute, and you would get 6W plus 4 plus 2W. Then combine like terms, and you would get 8W plus 4. Now, I know that the perimeter, I already know what it is, and I forgot to put it in there, so let me do that now. So the perimeter is 78. So I'm going to take 78 equals 8W plus 4, subtract 4 from both sides, and I would get 74 equals 8W. Now that doesn't go in evenly, I don't think, so let's make sure I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so I paused that to check, and this is right as far as I can tell. So if I divide both sides by 8, then I'll get a width with 9.25 inches. So that it's asking me what are the dimensions of the rectangle. So the width is 9.25, so we could put that there, inches. And then the length, we have to do 3. So the length would be equal to 3 times 9.25 plus 2. And so the length would be equal to 29.75 inches. And feel free to use a calculator on these if you need to. If they come out and they're not whole numbers, then it's just easier to use a calculator. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so for this problem, write it down. It has each of 2 sides of an isosceles triangle is 3 centimeters longer than the third side. The perimeter is 30 centimeters. Find the measure of each side. The first thing you want to try to do is, I will draw it. So you have an isosceles triangle, which means 2 sides are the same. And so there we have that. Now we need to define our variables and translate this. So it says the 2 sides that are the same, so these 2 sides, let's say, are the same, are 3 centimeters longer than the third side. So we can let X be the third side, and then the 2 sides would be 3 centimeters longer. So they would be X plus 3, and this would be X plus 3. And now we set up an equation, because we have to find the measure of each side, and it gives us the perimeter. So we know on a triangle, to find the perimeter, all you do is add the sides. So it's going to be side plus side plus side. So this is kind of the formula that you're working with. So now we have 30 as your perimeter, centimeters, and that's going to be equal to x plus 3 plus another x plus 3 plus the third side, which is x. Now I just combine like terms and I will solve. So I have 3 x's, and 3 plus 3 makes 6. So that's my equation, and then if I subtract 6 from both sides, I get this is 24 is equal to 3x, and then if I divide by 3, then I know x is equal to 8 centimeters. So then I know the 3 sides. So one side is going to be 8, and then the other sides are going to be 8 plus 3, which is 11. So the 3 sides are 8, 11, and 11, and they are centimeters. All right, 3 more problems. Okay, this problem, let's write this one down and we'll try to draw it as well. A quadrilateral has a perimeter of 60 centimeters. Now remember, a quadrilateral is just a 4-sided figure, and the lengths of its sides are consecutive even integers. Find the dimensions of the quadrilateral. So it has 4 sides, we know that, and the perimeter is 60 centimeters. So we're going to take all 4 sides and add them together, and they're going to equal 60. Now this is the part that we have to figure out. The lengths of its sides are consecutive even integers. Okay, so that means we're going to let the sides, let's draw this first. So let's say that one is x, and then we have 4 sides. Hopefully I'll do this right. And then consecutive even means that I'm going to add 2 to it, right? So like 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6. So this would be x plus 2. And then this one's a little bit longer. I'm not doing this very well. So this one would be x plus 4, right? So this would be like 2, 4, 6. And then this one is going to be, and this is not drawn to scale, so this would be x plus 6. So that would be 4-sided quadrilateral, consecutive even integers, starting with the first number, which is x, and then adding 2 each time, 2x. All right, then we would set this up as a perimeter problem. So 60, now we add all those sides together. So I'm going to write them all out. X plus 2 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 6. Okay, so now I need to just combine like terms. So how many x's do I have altogether? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. And then if I add the numbers together, I have a 2 plus a 4, that's 6 plus 6 is 12. So I have 4x plus 12. Subtract the 12 from both sides, and I end up with 48 equals 4x. That means if I divide by 4 that x is 12. So the first side is 12, so that side is 12. Then you add 2 to that and you get 14, and then 16, and then 18. So we have consecutive even integers, and the units are centimeters. All right, 2 more problems. This problem says that the perimeter of a basketball court is 266 feet, and its length is 35 feet more than its width. Find the dimensions of the court. Okay, so this is a pretty simple problem. If you would like to solve it on your own and just check the answer, that would be fine with me. But I'll go ahead and walk through it, so if you need to, pause it and then come back and check. All right, so I have a basketball court. It is, does it tell us that I'm assuming a basketball court is always a rectangle, so it's a rectangle. The perimeter is 266 feet, so I'll write that down. And then it says that the length is 35 more than the width. So I'm going to let W be width, because it doesn't tell us that W is anything special, so W is just going to be width. And the length then is 35 more than the width, so W plus 35. So width, and then W plus 35. Now this is a perimeter of a rectangle, so we have to remember our formula, which is perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And then all I do is substitute. So my perimeter is 266, I put that there. And then my length, remember, is width plus 35, so I substitute that where the L is. And then I have 2 times W. And then I just distribute and combine like terms like I've been doing. So 2W plus 70 plus 2W, and then I get 4W plus 70, and then I subtract 70. So I end up with 4W equals 196, and then if I divide by 4, I'm just going to use my calculator, divide that by 4, and I get the width is 49 feet. So if the width is 49 feet, then the length is 35 plus 49. So again, I'm going to use my calculator, plus 35, and I get 84 feet. And that's it. So you should be getting good at these, hopefully. We have one more problem. Okay, example 5 is a little different. It says if one side of a square is increased by 8 centimeters and an adjacent side, that means the side next to it, is decreased by 2 centimeters, a rectangle is formed whose perimeter is 40. Find the length of a side of a square. So now we kind of have two shapes here. So let's start with the square. So it says one side of a square. So let's draw the square. And then it says it's increased by 8 and it forms a rectangle. So we're basically taking a square and making it into a rectangle. So what we want to do is start out with the square as being all the sides are equal, and we're going to make those sides equals x because that's our starting point. So our variable is x, and that's the side of the square. That's where we're starting from. So we let that be x. And one side of it is increased by 8. So for the rectangle, we're going to say that it is increased by 8, and the adjacent side is decreased by 2. So you're taking the square and increasing it by 8 on this side and decreasing it by 2 on the adjacent side. And on the rectangle, the perimeter is 40. So I know that I have to use my perimeter formula. So the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So that'd be 40 equals, and then I have to substitute. So 2 times the length would be x plus 8 there, plus 2 times the width, and the width is x minus 2. Now I just need to do what I've been taught to do, which is distribute and combine like terms and solve this equation to find out what x is. So if I distribute here, this is what I get, and then I combine like terms, and I'll get 40 is equal to 4x plus 16 minus 4 is 12. Subtract 12. I think that's 28 equals 4x, so that means x is equal to 7. So I know that it says find the length of the side of the square, so you always want to know what it's asking. So this one is only asking for what x is, the side of the square. So I know that the side of the square is 7 centimeters, and that would be it. Okay, that's it for today. You'll have an assignment. Just check with me, and I'll tell you what your homework is. Okay, thanks.